Hello, everyone. So let's talk about the opportunity on Substack. I'm going to screen share. I'm going to go over what has happened for me that has been a big change in my business and help you see if this might be the place for you to go as well, in addition to the work that you're already doing. So this is not a replacement for the things that you are doing. It is a completely different way of marketing your business. So and if you're, those of you who are here, pop in the chat if you're there or not. Are you already there?
You mean in Substack?
Yes, but please put it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so um, do you already have one? Are you thinking about having one? Just where are you right now? Maybe you've been there for a while. Maybe you're not sure if you want to go there and you're here to check it out and see what you think. I was blown away when I went over there. So, the first thing I want to cover right now is what we're going to do this week and how this is going to play out. So, my intention is to help you create a space where your work can be seen, your voice can be heard, and whether that's audio or the written word or video, but you can be seen, heard, felt, and the right people can feel like, oh, this is somebody I might want to take the next step with. So let's just look around this room. And for those of you watching the replay, how many years of experience are we are surrounded by, right? How many years of work have the people who are looking at Substack right now put in? And as you know, the answer is many. Even people who are maybe just starting in their business, the work you've done, the lessons you've learned, the expertise you've gleaned needs a place where people can feel it and get to know you. And I've always felt for the last, well, not always, for the last couple of years, there's got to be a better way than dancing on TikTok and making a 3-second reel where you have to grab attention. I don't want to grab attention. I want to have a conversation. I want to help people. I want to know them. I want to give them the information they need, not the information that shocks them and stops them. So today we're going to talk about just the overview of Substack, what's working, and how does it convey the depth of your work. And then tomorrow we're going to start setting up your publication. I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to show you why it grew rapidly when I very first started, why I started making money there when people are like, it takes years to monetize Substack. It doesn't. It's a different platform than it was a couple of years ago. And a lot of people are missing this opportunity. So I'm going to show you. You can see if it's for you. If it is, you'll know what to do and you can get started. So we want our publication to attract the right people. So the difference here between social media and Substack is on social media, what we're doing now is kind of like lead churning. Like we're moving through all these people and hoping to get the right ones. And it takes a lot of exposure and it takes a lot of thought around your content, your hook. There's a lot you have to do to keep the algorithm showing your content. So that's social media. Social media turned from social media to interest media about 2 years ago. That's when Facebook or Meta on both platforms stopped showing your followers and your friends your content and started seeing who might be interested in the topic that you were talking about. And so now it's information based. It's not social, it's interest based is what I meant to say. And so that's a whole different game. So we're going to address that with Substack. And the first thing we want to do, it's kind of hard at first, at least it was for me, and I'm hearing that as I'm working with clients on this, to think about this differently than what we've been trained to do. First of all, Substack does not make a single dollar off of ads. So we got to think about what's their incentive. The way they make money is by They get 10% of any of your paid subscriber level. So, what's their incentive? Their incentive is to go find you paid subscribers. How do they do that? They do that through the categories you choose, through the content that you place, through collaboration. They use recommendations. They look for other platform publications that are like yours. They put your message in front of similar publications. Substack is based on collaboration, and it is a completely different way to market your business because your results happen when you collaborate with other people, not when you compete and dance and try to grab attention. So we want to set up our publication first and foremost so that it speaks to the right people. We want it to feel organized and like it looks like something that you're proud of, that represents your body of work. We're going to do that tomorrow on day 3. We're going to go through the different types of content to move somebody who just sees you into a follower, a subscriber, or a paid client off of the platform. So the strategy I use goes all the way from the initial meeting or seeing of you to subscription at the free level, subscription at the paid level, and then subscription or not subscription services off of the platform. And we want to be strategic and make sure that we set up our content so that it's doing that. That's why in the first 3 weeks, I had, I think it was 3 high ticket sales from my content. And, maybe I might have had 100 subscribers. I could go back and look. On day 3, we're gonna set that up for you, and we're gonna do a deep dive into the different types of content, how to use them. I'm gonna screen share. I'm gonna screen share today, and I'm gonna show you because I think it's really important for you to be able to see where it's at. I can talk about it and tell you all the good things, but it doesn't mean much until you actually see it in action. At least that's the way I learn, and I know that some of you do as well. So on day 4, we are going to talk about how do I get paid subscribers? Okay, I've got this content that we created on day 3, but is it useful? Is it actually bringing people to my services, to first of all, my paid subscription, and second of all, to my offers? So then on day 5, we are going to create your longer term plan. Like this is a body of work that you're creating. It's not like we have to think differently. I keep saying that. It's not like Meta where you're putting content out there and people are coming from one piece, or maybe they see you constantly if you're lucky. But this is your content lives. It lives there forever. It doesn't go away in the algorithm. And there's reasons why, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, but it's a body of work. So on day 5, we're going to talk about creating your body of work that's going to work for you over time and that's really going to accumulate as you continue to use this platform. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do some screen sharing because I want to show you yeah, let me do that. Let me go screen share. Look at all these faces. Hi, Sally. Hi, Christina. Deborah's here. I saw you. Yee, hello. Hi, Colleen. Holly. Holly's on Substack. We're doing an interview later this week because it's all about collaborating. Okay, so let's see. Here is my Substack. And here. Oh, there we go. Can you guys see the screen? Yes. Okay, awesome. All right. So this is just your basic profile. This is my profile. You just go there, you get your profile. Oh, I'm 33 rising in business. Thank you guys. It's because you're commenting and collaborating with me. So this is the profile. It's very much like your Facebook profile. And then right here where it says Unleash Leaders, this is your publication. They're two separate things. I want you to think of them differently. On your profile, you have a feed, just like on Facebook or kind of like Instagram, a little bit more like Twitter back in the day. And this is where we put notes. So this is a note that I put yesterday. And it just goes out. It's just letting people know what I believe. That's all a note is. Simple, short, tend to do best. Okay, so those are only on your profile. Then we have our publication, which I'll show you in just a minute. When we post on our publication, I'm right now doing a 30-day challenge for people growing on Substack on my publication. It also goes on your profile. So your profile has notes and your publication. Your publication only has publications, no notes. We'll talk about why that's important. So let's go up here and click on this. This is my publication, which I like to call these your magazine. This is my magazine. I want you to think about it like if your company had its own magazine that people could pick up at Borders or Barnes and Noble, whichever one's still in business, from the shelf, what would the cover look like? It would have different topics. It would have graphics. So this week on the Unleashed Leaders, we're talking about curating a community, right? Do you see this like a magazine? And at the top, now you can design this. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. And you can decide what goes where. So I put right here at the top, this is the content for my paid members. I want my paid members to know where they can go, how they can see everything they've paid for. If I didn't have this here, it would just be in their feed. And it's kind of confusing because you don't know what you paid for and what you didn't. You're not really seeing the value. You can click right here and go to View All, and they can just see everything that they have gotten from their paid membership. So I put that right at the top. You choose what you want to do. Then down here, we break it into topics like a magazine. So you need to decide what your pillars are. My pillars are Be Real, which is all about your value, your values, your identity, and the experience and expertise you have. So that's my pillar right here, Be Real. Anytime I write, record, video, live stream, something on one of these three things, I tag it just before I publish it because this is all tag driven, and it automatically goes in this section. It goes here. This one moves over. You can pin something here if you want. Anyway, now I'm getting into the details, but
It's on notes also, Patty? Like when you before you put it in notes, you tag it to go here
no,
also? Just putting it here.
notes don't go on your publication.
Okay.
Okay. So then this is my first tag, Be Real, right? And then I have this one. You can set these up. Let's just take a look at that. I'm going to show you how. I know I'm getting a little bit into tomorrow's, but I just want to show you while we're here. Um, how this goes. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have to stop and go over here. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. This is in my settings. This is my publication. And I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to dive in this tomorrow, but I just, because for sake of like seeing this, this is the theme. And then right here, do you see how I have are you seeing the screen? Yeah, okay. Um, this is a section, my Be Real. And you can choose how you want it to look. You can do left, you can do, oh, it's a little slow. You can make it like that. There's different ways you can make this look, is my point. And the reason that's important is because you want the magazine to represent you. And so, what does your body of work look like? Hang on. I was trying to be fancy and share all these things, and now there we go.
Is publication also called website, like in the law in the left thing? Is that the same as what they call website inside
Yes.
of Substack?
Yes.
Okay.
Close that. Keeps grabbing that one. There we go. Okay, so all right, so here we are, back to this. That's how you set it up. But as you can see, I have my next tag here, take a stand. That's all about visibility, speaking, building a community. And then change lives is about offers, your revenue, how to make sales. So what I want you to think about, maybe you already have these, what are your pillars? What do you want to build your body of work on? And that's what goes here. I have a resource page where I'm teaching people. Right now, I'm teaching Substack, which I did not expect. It's just that I got over here and I saw the value and I started telling everyone, you should come over here. So let me tell you a little bit about that. I'll stop sharing for a second here. Um, when I, so the algorithm changes, we aren't being seen as much as we were, shorter, controversial posting is what is gaining momentum. And then I ask a question on my Facebook profile, who's on Substack and what has your experience been? And people had a lot of really positive feedback. I thought it was a newsletter publication, which is how it started. It was started so that journalists could share their opinion without being banned. And so yes, it was a newsletter publication, but I just pulled some statistics for you. There are over 20 million monthly active subscribers, and that has doubled in the last since 2025. Um, Actually, 47.6 million unique website visitors in September of 2025, up over 65% a year ago. Nearly 100,000 publications earn money, up from only 50,000 in May of 2025. And so you can see that it's growing. It has a $1 billion valuation after they just raised $100 million in July of last year. When they raised that money, they are turning Substack into a media publication platform. They launched Substack TV. You can go into your Substack and you can stream live. So much easier than what I'm trying to do here on Facebook. I couldn't get it to go. You can stream live. You can pre-record. You can invite guests on. Remember, collaboration is the way you grow. So I have a series, Unleashed Female Leaders, and I have a guest each week, and we stream live together. Does that cost me anything? No. Does that, is that hard to do? No. You click on go live, you invite your guest, and you go live. And you tag it, it goes on your magazine in the section that you want it to be in. So think about Substack as your media platform. Now, that doesn't mean that we are moving away from all the other social media. This is a hub and spoke model. And what that means in marketing is Substack is your hub, it's your body of work, your publication, right? The spokes are the other channels you're already on, the other platforms you're already on. So when you make a post, Substack makes for you automatically clips and sizes them to go on the other platforms. Substack wants you to bring people over, and it makes it really easy by making both video clips and still photo clips. And then you can add those. I tend to add them to my stories or to a post and link it back to Substack. So, how do you grow your Substack? You invite people that are already following you to come find you in a place where they can consume your content, your valuable content, not your like attention promo content, although you can do that there, but your valuable content in one place. And that's why when I first started, I was shocked because people would come over to my publication, binge watch it, message me, and say, how do I hire you? That's a different experience than we've had for a while, isn't it? I got to read the comments. I didn't even look at them yet. Let me see what you guys are saying. Um, okay, you're there. Ye's, you're on Substack? Yeah. Devore is there. I'm not on Substack yet, Colleen says, but I read a lot of other people's content there. Yes. I'm on Substack, Christina, but have not yet set anything up for yourself. That's a great way to just kind of get a feel for what people are doing. Um, the coolest thing about Substack is it breathes with you. I love that, Holly. It's true. Yeah, it's totally different, Christina, isn't it? You gotta like, it's a little mind tweak. Like, wait a minute, that's not how we do it here. And the thing is, listen to this. You look at it, shows you all your statistics on every single post. You can see, oh, look, this post brought in 3 paid subscribers. I'm going to show you restacking right now because it is the way to grow. Let me screen share. Okay, let me go back up here. This takes you to your profile. Okay, so let's say that I have a, um, I don't know, let's say I have a post that I made. Here's an example of me doing it, but let me just find a post. Maybe it's this one. I click on it. Maybe I already checked and saw that this post did really well. And I am thinking, gosh, people more, I should get more eyeballs on this. When did I make this? July 30th. It could have been, you know, in May when I very first started. And I just come in here and I say something like, and we want to think about this when we're writing content. We're going to talk about this on day 3. But let's say this is a really great quotable. It's really not. But let's pretend like it is. And you can restack it. That's what it looks like. You choose the background. I'm blue, so there we go. And when someone finds this and says, yes, I agree with that, let me just show you. I did one right here. I saw it a minute ago. Here it is. People will tell you what they don't want and then wonder why they keep getting it. Okay. And so I restacked it and I said, what you focus on is what you move towards. So maybe someone's like, that's true. They click on it and they can see this is a podcast or some audio where I'm talking about that topic. So it had 6 likes and 4 restacks. When you restack someone else's content, check this out. When you restack someone else's content, let's just go do that right now. Here's one that I did. This is Katrina. She's a client. Um, when I restack this, so if we go to this, we'll see that that takes us over to her post. And well, I clicked on, yeah, I clicked on her name instead of her post, but here's her post. Oh, that's going to start. When you, when I restack that, it goes out to my audience and her audience. So now think about this strategically. I'm someone who loves Katrina and I follow her, and then I see someone restack her content because I'm now in her feed. They come over and they follow me. Restacking is how you grow. Restacking, collaborating. We're going to talk about all of this throughout the week. But I'm wondering how many of you are already doing these kind of things on Substack? Put it in the comments. Yes, no, thinking about it, not yet. So the cool thing is, I had my Facebook for since I think 2008 or so. I can't remember when we all jumped on Facebook. I had a page, a group. I still do. I have a page, a group, my profile. I'm working along. I'm like, my mastermind is just always being filled from my Facebook profile and the programs I'm launching, mainly from my profile and my Facebook group. And then kind of overnight, people stopped seeing it. Have you guys experienced that where your content views just kind of started going down? I guess it's been about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And so I was like, I'm going to go all in on Reels. I'm going to learn Reels. And it took me a fair amount of time. And then I'm working on all these, attention grabbing, get your hook, you got it. And then in 2 seconds, every 2 seconds, you have to change something to keep their attention. And it was just kind of exhausting. But I did it for about, I think, 9 months. And it really didn't get me very far. Like, people weren't liking and engaging them. And I think the reason was I didn't really like them. You know how your energy is conveyed. I was like, I don't want to grab attention. I want to have a deep, meaningful conversation. I want you to tell me what you need because I am really good at figuring things out individually and customizing things. And so I came to Substack and what I found is when like I would put out a post and I had maybe 50 subscribers and 40 of them would see it. That's unheard of without paying for it on Meta, right? That's absolutely unheard of. And then I started sharing and like it grew really rapidly. In fact, I had to slow down and stop because then I started helping other people do it and I started building publications for people and like just helping people. But I put together a group coaching program, which we run every 6 weeks, which is great because I can help more people there. But I slowed down on the growth because it was so rapid. And that was a complete mind blowing experience after working so hard just to get my algorithm up so that, I don't know, 20% of my followers might be able to see it. So that is when I went all in because there's too many people. The people, in my view, who have deep, meaningful work are not being seen. The people who are good at marketing are being seen. But the problem we've seen in the coaching industry is the people who are good at marketing aren't always the same people who are good at delivery. And there's people who can get real life-changing results that aren't being seen. So one of the questions, type in any questions that you have, and I'll keep an eye on them. One of the questions I often get is, can I have more than one publication? Yes, you can have multiple publications tied to one profile. You can also have multiple podcasts. You can click on create, which is what I wanted to show you. Right over here, note, article, video, podcast, live. Do you see that? This is your media platform. You can go into your recording studio and you can start recording. I could invite a guest. I could um, add my own branding, right? There's a lot you can do here, and you can pre record and then you can schedule everything. Any of these things that you are seeing right here on Create, all of these can be scheduled. So when I create an article, right up here at the top, we can decide, is it going to be an audio, a pre-recorded audio? So right now I'm doing a 30-day challenge and I just use my phone. I use voice memo. I record a 3 to 5 minute daily drop for them. And then I click on audio embed and I add my audio. Or you can just go live. Here's the video. How do I get my videos on Substack? You click insert video and you drop it here. Um, I think we have to go to, let me see, um, create, let me go back on here. For your podcast, you click on create podcast. If you have an existing podcast, you can give Substack your RSS feed, stop paying your podcast host, and host it on Substack, and it will still push it out. You have to set it up to iTunes, to, Spotify, to the places you want it to live, but it's all happening from here. Okay. So here's your recording studio. You can open it. I just showed you the studio. If you've pre-recorded your podcast, you can just put it right here. You add your title, you start writing, and away you go. You press, you know, publish, and it goes out. The other really cool thing is, think about this for a minute. On any other social media platform, you don't get people's emails. You don't get their emails. On Substack, when someone subscribes, they subscribe via email. You own your own asset on Substack. They subscribe via email, and then when you do a post, there's a little button at the bottom that says send email. You can click on that and you can choose, do I want to send this to my free subscribers? Do I want to send this only to my paid subscribers? That's how we make paid content for our subscribers. Or do I want to, I mean, we're going to get into paywall. There's a lot more to this that you can do for your strategy. But when you click send email, it takes your article and it creates a beautiful email that looks just like your article, the video at the top, the audio right here that they can actually click on inside their email. Have you guys gotten these from people and seen them? They're not making those. Substack makes it for you. You just choose this is going to go out in an email and click publish. The post gets published, the email gets sent, and the person gets a notification on their phone. And you just clicked a button. So it is, are you guys seeing how it is your media platform? It's all these things we've been doing on other sites. Maybe you have Libsyn, maybe you have, yeah, Colleen, right? You're early. This is why I'm over on Facebook going, come to Substack, everyone. Like, I'm kind of tired of myself, but I'm not going to stop because people don't see how valuable this is and it's free. The things that you can cancel, right? Like, I still have my email list outside of Substack. And then I have an email list that I've grown on Substack. But what's someone is writing, yes. Yes, Yee, it's so much easier than email management because they said they wanted to see you. And you know what the open rates are? 65 to 70%. What's your open rate? 19 is amazing now. Mine's around 10. Like, how did that happen? It didn't used to be that way. Why? Because email servers are getting flagged from all the garbage that's being sent, all this, the noise. This place reduces the noise on social media, the noise trying to, in deliverability for emails, the noise of like, and the work involved in, okay, we got it. upload our podcast to Libsyn and make sure that it's got like I had a podcast I started in 2010, I think, for about 2 or 3 years. And I had a team that had to help like make that podcast happen. Now I make a post in Substack and out it goes. It's kind of mind blowing. I got to see what you guys are seeing. Um, you feel like email list marketing is dying. Yeah, because there's so much garbage. But you know what? Um, this is showing some new information because people are opening the emails from Substack. One, their deliverability is impeccable because they're not importing lists that were bought from someone and seeing how many people in that list that I just bought could possibly be a 1% is good conversion rate for me, right? That's what messes up email. It's the like misuse of it. 40 to 45%. That's good, Christina. You have a clean list. My list got a little old and I just completely revamped it and those open rates have increased, but that's a good open rate for right now. So we've got your email list, we've got your podcast, we've got your live stream. If you want to go live, just click go live. We've got a way to add video. Now let's talk about the content that you already have. Many of you have tons of content that is so valuable that you have used for, trainings or free conversion events or whatever you're doing with your content. And it's just sitting in a Google Drive box somewhere, right? You can start dropping that out because we're going to talk about your subscription strategy. I think it's Thursday. But think about this. Let's say I'll just use my example. When I very first started, once I found out about this, I went like all in. I didn't leave my office for like 5 days. I just started going. And I made my paid subscription and I charged $79 a year. And I looked at the 3 conversion events I did last year, which were challenges. One was called the Identity Shift. It was really popular. So I did it for 30 days. I would do daily audio drops in Telegram. And then on Fridays, I invited everyone into a Zoom call and I did a training for them. So I took those 4 trainings that I had done and I put them in my paid subscription. And then I made a podcast and I added the daily drops for 30 days into my podcast. Now I felt like I could charge for it. There's good value there, proven value. People love that. And in addition, I'm going to be adding content every week. And we're going to talk about this on the content flow portion where, this is what made my Substack pop quickly is that I went all in. It was a little crazy. I had to stop after about 5 weeks. On Tuesday, I would choose a topic, I would record it on my phone, and I would upload it as a podcast. Some people want to hear you. On Wednesday, I would take the script, I would put it in Claude, I would ask for an article. It would write an article, I would refine it, go through it, and I would post an article. On the next day, I would go live and it would go deeper on one area in the article that I had just done the 2 previous days, the article and the podcast. At the end of each of those, I would say, if you would like to go deeper on a like workshop style training, join my paid membership. We're meeting every Friday. So they could hear me, they could see me on video, and then they could experience me live and they could read my content. Some people want to read. Some people don't want to read. They want to listen while they're on a run. So I gave them the opportunity to experience me the way they wanted to experience me. And they would come to the live and I would do a training. And that's how I built out my paid subscription, just like that. It was a lot because it was like 4 things a week, but it popped me off. It popped me off really quickly. So let me hear from you. I'm giving you a lot of information I know. You can probably hear how passionate I am about it. Let me see if there's any questions you have. Holly, you did. You were there. 360 experience of Patty. Yes, that's what we want for you too, Yi. I love that. Do you guys have questions? Go
I
ahead,
have a
Yi.
question.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I'm actually curious, right? Because I am not a English native speaker.
Yeah,
So whenever I am writing an English article, I'm always using AI. It's not
yeah,
like I ask AI to write, but
yeah.
I like write my ideas, even like sentence by sentence, and say, okay, AI, help me to check grammar, make sure it's like crystal clear. And
Yeah.
then I use the AI detector tool. And then it's like, it's only 60% human written, like 40% AI assisted. And
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this to be seen by my audience because I think they come to Substack to write an article which is written by a human. And I just feel like it's unfair. Then
right.
I turn off this AI detector too. But that's like the context of why I'm asking this question. So
Yeah.
my real question is, do you sense the differences like of your like popularity of your audience, like of your articles, if you write like really 100% human written, or you use like Claude to kind of come up with article based on your podcast subscripts? So
I I always
yeah.
use Claude, and
Mm.
if I had the experience you're having, I would write an article about it.
Oh, nice.
I would just address it and say, listen, you know, I would just talk about it because people will understand that, right?
That's great. Yeah.
I just like to address those things. Like, I am so passionate about giving you the work I have in my heart in the language that you consume it. And I use Claude to help me do that.
Yeah.
That's a place
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah. Just be blood honest of that.
Yes.
And no shame about that because by
No,
then it's
no
what I have
shame.
written.
No shame. I think it's the exact opposite. I think you should be proud that you are willing to put yourself in front of an audience whose language you don't speak in service.
Mm.
And I would say that. I would
Yeah.
be honest. I would say sometimes it's uncomfortable speaking to you English speakers, but here I am because I want you to know this.
Yeah.
So if you have any feedback on how I'm delivering it, please let me know because I just really want to connect with you. That's the
Yeah.
be real part of my tagline, right? Be real. Just that's the truth. And people feel the truth and they resonate with it.
Yeah, thank you, Patty, because you also helped me to unblock of speaking in front of camera. I am very hesitant to make a video because I'm a bit like very self-conscious of like my
Oh,
accent,
no.
and also the way I'm speaking English is very different from native speakers.
Yeah.
Um, but I think
And that makes you real. That makes you recognizable. That makes you stand out. Oh, there's Yee. I love listening to her, right? Okay, you guys, let's take a poll. Who wants to see a video from Yee? Let's go. Oh, we got all these hands going up now.
oh,
Yeah, so
thank you.
you're
Yeah,
welcome. You're welcome. The thing for every one of us, me, all of us, to remember is that people are looking for our depth, our services, the things that we can do, and the things that are different about us make us unique. It makes us unique. And so lean into those. Lean into
yeah,
those. You could even have fun with it. Here I am today. It's me, Yi, your Chinese English speaker. Today we're going to talk about look, something that you feel good saying, right? That you're proud to be doing your work. Agreed, Christina says. Um, your accent slows us down in a busy, overproduced world, Holly says. Did you see that, Yi?
Yeah.
That's a really great point. Holly's such a genius. If you guys aren't following her on Substack, hey, do you guys have Substacks? Drop them in the chat. Let's all go follow each other, um, and support one another because, I mentioned collaboration is the way we grow there. And, doing things like joint live streams, recommending each other. Um, Holly and I recommend each other. I didn't even know how recommendations worked until it was early. And Holly sent me a message and said, "Thanks for the recommendation. I'm getting a bunch of new subscribers from that." And I was like, how does that work, right? Um, so, okay, good. Yeah, let's go follow. Yes, I'm going to do that right now. Let's take a minute and do a free subscription. Um, I mean, you can do more, but at least subscribe rather than follow because there we go. Um, and also this is really good because you're gonna see, I wish I was screen sharing. Um, it will show you everybody if you're following or if you're subscribing to someone, notice what happens when you click subscribe for free. It says, here's some similar publications like ye. And then do you want to subscribe? So that's a collaborative step, right? And then it says, do you want to recommend her? And if you know her and you know her work, recommend her. And here's the trick with recommendations. Make sure you write something in the box that says how you feel about her work. Because when you do that, Substack makes a little recommendation card and puts it on her publication. Aren't they the best? Let's see. Oh, Sally, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to take you through this. I'm going to go subscribe to Sally, but let's do this together because I want to show you what I was just telling you. Here we are. Okay, here's Sally. You know what else? Like, we're all starting at the very beginning. There are people with huge email lists, huge followings, and 2 subscribers. So when you interview them, maybe you do host an interview series, and they email their list and say, "Come watch my interview," as a way to bring people to Substack. Substack also promotes you. So that's the collaboration part. So let's watch this. I'm going to subscribe to Sally. I'm going to go free is no pledge. I'm going to continue without pledging and then get Sally's recommendations. Sally recommends Kayla McDonald. Do you see that? It didn't show the next one. It depends on how her publication is set up. But are you starting to see how being on Substack and collaborating with other people could really take off for you? Yeah. Yeah. Did I get everybody? Yeah. Okay. Christina, get over there. Rosie, are you there?
Hello.
Hi. Good to
I
see you.
Could I just say that I set up my Substack like a year and a half ago. That's as far as I got was putting my picture because I was trying to get it perfect and trying to fit in learning more instead of taking like what you did was like that's what I should have just done. It would have been done versus
I know, I know.
what
We do
I
that. We
mean, it's
do that.
ridiculous. And I think it's such a beautiful platform, but I didn't even know. Oh, good, Holly. Good. Yeah, going messy. I was so like impressed by everything being so looking so good that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to get this right. I need to
Well,
like,
we're going to make you look good tomorrow. We're going to set up your publications.
all right.
So
It's so opposite of like just like a Facebook sloppiness now,
I
right?
know, right?
Yeah. Right.
I don't make you look bad, Holly. You look great over there. Okay, so that's the opportunity. Today's about the opportunity. Tomorrow we're going to it looks like I have my stuff together, Holly, but it's like You know, I'll give you an example. I'm very like intuitive and I'm an early adopter. I see things coming. And I made a post on Thursday night or Friday night, Thursday night, I think, saying, um, I no, it wasn't even that. I had an old post that got picked back up about Substack, and people were raising their hands. Teach me Substack, teach me Substack. On Saturday morning, I said, I'm just going to go live every day for 5 days. And I made a banner and I started promoting on Saturday. 2 days later, here we are. So I am messy, Holly. Less messy. And things aren't, but you know what? My heart is more important. What I want for these women is my commitment and men. I'll tell you what happened in that process. So many men have been coming to me and they're really cool. And I was like, why am I excluding the men? And so I changed my publication from Unleashed Female Leaders to Unleashed Leaders. I changed my Facebook group to Unleashed Leaders and set up the summer series. And I just went. And so, yeah, brave. Yeah, just take action. You know, and maybe part of it's just my learning style and my ADHD, but I just go. I just like figure it out while I go. That doesn't work for everyone. Um, yes, yes, they are. There's some really cool men, and they're coming, they're messaging me, and they're like, "Do you work with men?" And I'm like, "Yeah, get in my group." And they're like, okay. And then they're joining Unleashed Female Leaders, and they're like, I was like, I don't want you to feel like you're not part of the group. So I'm just going to change it. All right. Any questions before we wrap up? I want to honor your time, and then we'll reconvene tomorrow. You can just open your mic if you have a question.
I
Is
had a
this
question, and the
Go ahead,
one that
Christina, and
Rosie
then
put,
Rosie. Oh, go ahead.
okay, the one that Rosie put is one of my questions too about the business and personal. Do you mix that?
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of maybe kind of a silly thing, but when I started subscribing to people, I used a particular email that I use for subscriptions,
Hmm.
but it's not the one I would want to use for,
Yeah.
my own thing on there. So how does that all work? Does it mean you have to stick with it or can you change it?
Well, how many subscriptions do you have right now?
Mm,
You'd have to start a new profile. You'd start over.
okay. So
I don't think there's a way to change your email. I would ask Substack support about that.
okay.
But yeah, I set up a Substack. I don't know why I have two with my business email, and then for some reason I set one up with my personal. Maybe I didn't know I had one. So now my personal email is what's on Substack, but nobody really sees that. So it's okay.
Mhm. So when the emails get sent out to people that have subscribed, then they don't
It,
see your email, they just see
yeah,
Substack,
it
right?
comes from your publication,
Got
which
it.
we'll talk about. Your publication name is really important. We'll go into that tomorrow. And
Okay.
then go ahead, Rosie.
Oh, I was just going to ask if this would be available on a replay because I came in
Yes.
late. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to put it. I thought it would stream on Facebook, but I didn't get it to work. So I'll put it up in Facebook in the group as soon as it's done.
So every day you'll post the Zoom link in there because that's what I couldn't locate. I didn't know where you were sent, where that was coming.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I put it on I made I tried to put it everywhere, but I know how confusing. The Zoom link is the same every day.
Okay.
So that's good. Once we get that solved, we're good. And then you had a question, do you mix business stuff with your personal conversations? You know, I told you about my pillars, be real, take a stand, change lives. I have a fourth pillar. It's called live well. And I originally put that on my publication, but then I wasn't putting anything in there because I was talking about Substack all the time. But my intention is to share more of my personal experience as a woman, as a mom who's raised four kids who are all out on their own, as a person who's just beginning to travel the world more. Like I'm going to be bringing that personal stuff in. And also, when you say conversations, do you mean like on your notes, in your writing? What do you mean?
I mean, like kind of what you were saying, like you're saying the four pillars, like, because there's different aspects of me that was one of the reasons I
Yeah.
couldn't get started. I'm like, which part am I, how am I putting all this has always been my thing. How do I put all the pieces together?
Yeah,
I'm not just my business. I'm not, now I'm talking about being a
exactly.
grandmother a lot. So where the pieces,
Yes.
where do they go?
I think it all goes together and you have one umbrella, right? My umbrella is Unleashed Leaders. Well, what happens when you're in your 60s and you decide to start traveling? That's what I'm going to put in my Live Well area. And people really resonate with that sort of content. Like, why am I doing this right now? How is the work I'm doing, the work you're doing, how is that fitting into my life? Why did I choose this at this time? That kind of stuff people love rather than this is like the guru era is over. We're done. We don't need a guru to tell us how to do anything. What we need is to be able to connect with other people who are doing things that are thought provoking. This is, I don't think I've said this yet, this is a thought leadership platform, a media platform for thought leadership. Thought leaders share who they are, what they believe, why they do things, what they've learned. They're open to other people's opinions, at least the people that, the type of thought leader I want to be. We want more honesty, yes. And we can feel the honesty. But what has happened is we've gotten so inundated with attention grabs that we're just like following the like emotions that are created purposefully through psychological manipulation. I'm not going to get started on my rant, but I've been in marketing for nearly 3 decades. I've watched what's going on. I know what's going on in our world, in our business. Anyway, this is an answer to that. And so we want that connection. We want that depth. Other questions? Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for being here. And as always, be real, take a stand, and change lives. Bye for now. Thank you, Yi.